everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast Summer House Martha's Vineyard edition. And we are at season 2, episode 9, the finale.
How sad.
It was so good. How is this on pause?
I have some answers behind the data, I think. And I'll share it at the end of the episode.
At the end?
Yeah.
Fine. But if you guys must know, I'm making TikToks now to bring awareness of Martha's Vineyard. I've made a lot. They're all in my drafts, and I will just put them out whenever I feel like it because I'm upset.
Here's what I need a commitment from Bravo on, because I can understand if they just cancel shows, whatever, but some of these people are excellent. Same with like Family Karma. Like, we loved Brian on Winter House. Like, I need a capacity that Bravo keeps these characters around and not just at like BravoCon yearly.
Yeah. Ultimate girls trip.
Yeah.
You could do an ultimate boys trip. See the boys get in a little trouble.
I think
how shitty
hilarious.
They all are
Especially
together.
Like if they were single, because we love like when the guys are like on the prowl, not a dating show. No more like of this like West Date Ever. No more chef whatever that was. No, just like dudes being dudes in a house for a week. Make it 5 episodes.
Also on TikTok, whenever this comes out, may still be covering West Date Ever or have finished covering it, but don't watch it on YouTube. Just watch my recaps. I've gotten from multiple people, some in person and some online, that my recaps are truly better than the show. Yeah. And they're not going to watch the show. They're just going to get my recaps.
I've never watched the show, but I want to be in the loop. That's why I'm making you do it.
They're not all bad, but they are all a little awkward to watch.
The dates, your videos, all good.
Thank you. I think I summarize exactly what you need to know.
Yes.
So, whatever. But before we get into the Martha's Vineyard episode, check out our Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon. All the links are in our description. Also, please, please, please make sure to rate, review, subscribe. We haven't gotten a nice review in a long time.
I know, since we basically merged all of our podcasts together. So,
My confidence, my self-confidence is low. So I need you guys to
Is anybody out there? Is anybody out there?
Does anyone listen to this?
Can somebody make contact?
Can you please? Okay, let's get in the episode. Let's get into the finale. So, previously on this season of Martha's Vineyard, Jasmine is pregnant and she's trying to rebuild her friendships with the house. Alex has been inside of Summer.
There's one good thing with this season ending. I will never have to hear about that again.
Yes, you will at the reunion.
I know, but like once that's over.
Yes, you will, because I'll bring it up all the time. I'll be like, Meredith, do you remember that time that Alex was inside of Summer?
No. Am I going to have to pull that as one of the quotes that I pull every Sunday?
Alex has been Inside of Summer. She's told us multiple times. Summer has also had a rough summer and is emotionally struggling. Nick loves his girlfriend Tasia, but everyone thinks Nick is a little handsy, which he talked about with Jordan and Summer, but Natalie tried to tell Tasia about Nick, and Nick is pissed, and he confronts the whole house, but then Bria doesn't want to hear it, so she matches her energy, and yeah. And I'm not going to give anything away, but I want everyone to know I was so over this sometimes. I went and watched the reunion.
You did?
So I know what happens with this.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I got updates, but I won't say anything.
Also, I have screenshots because we're obviously watching this late because we couldn't do 3 live seasons at once. I pulled some screenshots off of Amir's Instagram story. I can't wait to talk about at the reunion.
God, so annoying. Okay,
and that was in August 2024 of when I pulled those screenshots. So 3 months after they did the reunion.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot to go through. The reunion was crazy.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to talk about all of this.
let's get on with the finale. So it's day 11 of 15. It's 6:29 p.m. Nick is pissed. He's pissed that Natalie was going to tell Tasia all these things that the other girl said, and Bria doesn't want to hear it, so she walked off. And Amir, he's so happy that Nick's not mad at Natalie, because that's like the
Why is
only
that your
concern of this man.
concern? Yeah, like I know Bria, like I think it's Bria who says like, "Oh, you don't scream unless you're guilty." I don't know. I don't. I feel like you don't try to clean up these streets unless your side is dirty.
Yeah, Amir is guilty. Nick, I don't know, but Bria's always screaming. So what's that about? Meredith's choking. Okay, so um it's okay. So Bria goes outside with Simon and
So
says Nick
sorry.
is just cussing away. No, it's okay. Anyway, so yeah, Bria tells Simon Nick is cussing away, and Simon doesn't really give a fuck. He's like, I'm staying out of it. I've been in enough trouble today.
Yeah, yeah.
Um But Nick is so pissed that people are coming for his character. Nick doesn't think he's been flirty with Shanice, Bria, or Noelle, and words matter to him. It's not just like, so is this just gossip? Was it more? Why does it need to be brought to Tasia's attention? But Bria thinks Nick being defensive is a sign that he is guilty of being handsy with other
No,
women.
I don't think it is because this is the second time that this has happened. So and this is a TV show. Like your character does matter.
Yeah.
I would defend
I,
myself if somebody like said stuff like this.
yeah. I also think that I don't know why everyone's like, do we tell Tasia? Do we not tell Tasia? Like, all this is going to be on TV. Tasia can watch and then fucking
I
decide if she
agree.
really like wants to. But Preston wants to know how the house can move forward. Nick is just really upset. He feels like he can't be himself. Summer's confused, and the other girls are also, or Summer's confused why the other girls are feeling this way because she thought it was just her and Jordan, which it hasn't been cleared up that they were talking about Summer and Jordan.
That's the thing. It's like I think most of the house and even Nick is confused because it has been cleared up that the other girls have not been touched, but it's like where does the problem lie for you? And they just think
Yeah,
in a
then why are you
grand
talking about
sense
it?
that Nick
Yeah.
is shady, but that hasn't really been said.
Yeah. But like I'd also, if I was Summer and Jordan, I like would kind of be pissed and be like, why are you bringing up my issues to Tasia? Like if I really wanted to bring
Yes.
that up to Tasia, I would. So Jasmine goes and she's like, hey Nick, can I give you a hug? And he's like, I don't know, can you? Or is that disrespectful? And I was like, ooh.
I mean, but he's right. Everything he does, he's going to overthink or is going to be called into question. Like, I would put a lot of boundaries around these people.
Yeah. And then Preston is really pissed at Bria because he finds her really disrespectful, which I'm right there with Preston.
I am
Um,
over her screaming and yelling every
I'm over it.
time, but then nobody else gets to talk to her. Listen, I'm a yeller. That's how I grew up. So I can understand being a yeller, but she never lets anybody match her energy, and that's not okay.
No. Yeah. So Alex goes to get Bria, and in that time, Noelle apologizes to Nick about how things were relayed to Tasia and not him. But Noelle stands by what she said. She doesn't feel like Nick did anything wrong to her, but she does think it's disrespectful the way Nick's moving about the house, which is fine. That's her opinion. Go off.
Yes, I think I
And
think
Nick,
I think the girls will be kind of cleared. Bria not, but like Noelle and Shanice, I feel like watching that clip back, if Nick does, he probably did.
yeah,
For the reunion, it kind of clears those two's name, and then it's like
yeah,
Bria and Natalie are the ones who really perpetuated stuff and like said the worst of it, and then like moved differently.
yeah, agreed. And Nick does apologize for raising his voice. Alex goes to Bria's room, immediately mooned by sleeping Simon, naked in the bed. But he talks to Bria about coming downstairs, dealing with the issues. Bria says Nick's very disrespectful for raising his voice, and Alex is like, great, but can you come
Girl,
downstairs and deal with it?
you
Yeah,
do
no,
it first
really.
90% of the time.
That's really what is it? The pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
listen,
that's
I
right
don't
on
think
cue.
I don't think a man should yell at a woman, but I don't think that like means that it's okay for a woman to yell at a man. It's not okay in either regard, but you can't be mad when you are the one who constantly starts the yelling.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If like it's someone like Jasmine who really hasn't yelled at anyone this season. If Nick's yelling at her, I'd be like, bro, calm
Yeah.
down. But like Bria always yells.
Yes.
And the one time she doesn't, she's like, Nick, let it out.
But she
Be
was like,
mad.
she was being like louder than just like a normal tone of voice.
Yeah. Well, whatever. So, Alex and Bria come back downstairs. Nick brings up how Bria said that Nick was flirting with her on boat day, which again we see the clips of him being like, "Yeah, Bria," she's shaking
She's
her
being,
butt, and then
he's being friendly.
them going to Nobu together. Which she
Yeah.
says, "Can you take me to Nobu?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll take you to
Oh my
Nobu."
God.
That was it. But Bria says it's innocent flirting. It's not like Nick's trying to fuck her. And
Come
Nick's like, but you're
on.
making it seem like I'm doing something
Yes.
wrong.
That is much more of a charged word than just saying like we're
Yeah,
vibing.
I innocently flirt. So
Yes.
I get this, but I'm not trying to fuck you. And I don't think I'm doing anything wrong or disrespectful. I'm not sitting there like, ooh, you look good. Like, ooh, you look fine. I want to go
Yeah.
out with you and just you. It's always just like,
But
hey,
I feel like you
dude,
would
what's
only
up?
describe yourself that way. You wouldn't look at the person you're doing it with and be like, you're flirting with me.
No, and I wouldn't
You
be
would
like,
never
it's
put
that
that
big a
on them.
fucking deal. If someone
Yeah.
is flirting with me, even when people do flirt with me and we're both single, I'm like, I don't even care if you're flirting with me.
That's the
Like, I don't
thing.
care.
It like, unless it gets to like a point where it's like flirting and like
Give me your
getting,
number. Let's hang out later. Then, yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy. But if you're like, your hair looks nice, I'm going to be like, thanks,
Like,
buddy.
there's like a
Go
scale
off.
of flirting, and like the first 50% is just being like nice and complimentary of people.
Yeah, and if one of my guy friends was like, okay, is this flirty? One of my best guy friends who has a girlfriend of 2 years asked me to go to brunch. And it's just gonna be us two. Basically, we're not going to Nobu, but like we're going out. Is
Yeah.
that flirty? Should the girlfriend be
No.
mad at me? Ooh, ooh.
No. But
Like
it's not the
calm
girlfriend
down.
being mad at you in this situation. It's you being
That's
mad
the
at
other
your
thing.
friend.
Oh my god. You're right.
It's
You're
you
right.
being
It would
mad
be
at your
me
friend
for the
for hanging out
girlfriend.
with you.
You're right. No, you're right. Crazy. Um, but Bria basically interrupts Nick as he's trying to say all this,
Yeah.
and she's like, "You're getting defensive,"
Oh, girly.
and she
He has
says,
a right to be because you're making shit up.
well, Bria then says, she's like, I'm not trying to out Nick. I'm not trying to twist things. I don't even talk about you. And then we cue to a scene where Bria does talk about him. Um, then we cut to the rest of the table. Everyone's tired. Shanice is asleep in her chair. She doesn't
And
give a fuck
Noelle
about
is
this.
too. They're like, can we go to bed?
Basically, we solve nothing. Nick's just going to be like, it's under the rug. Fine. Jasmine does ask if him and Tasia are good. And Nick's like, we're fine. This conversation is over. We're moving forward. Thank God, because half the table's asleep. And so we go to bed.
It kind of
So
made
now
me
it's
sad. The
day.
last two nights of this like house, they don't do much. I mean, they do stuff during the day, but I wish they like threw
You
one
wanted
last
them to go
party.
hard. You wanted
I
them to
just needed,
Shanice their day.
yeah, I needed a little like vibing. It kind of just always feels serious the rest of this episode.
I did love how Shanice does want to vibe and no one will
Yeah,
vibe with her. I
correct.
was like, oh, my girl
I've
Shanice
really,
deserves
I'm
better.
fully in the lake of Shanice. Like I
I
have acclimatized.
love
I am
Shanice.
surrounded by my love of Shanice.
So it's day 12 of 15, 9:25 a.m. The house is waking up. Natalie and Simon are fucking finally leaving, these two. And Amir says he feels like his fun is leaving because he got to have fun without fear of getting in trouble. And now he has fear.
When I was watching this, I was like, this is the moment. I was like, I cannot wait to talk to Alicia about this. Like, what the fuck was that?
I hate them together. So Alex has to go pick up his friend Josiah because he's hosting Feeling the Space, which is the event in New York City that he puts on that Summer was not invited to, even though he's been inside of her.
Yeah, I mean, how devastating.
She's had him inside of her. I know. Who would want to miss Feel the Space? Not
After she
me.
felt him.
Yeah. So this is where he's gonna sing. We can't go a season without Alex
I
singing, as you
I was like,
know.
wait a minute, we didn't get him at Lux on the Bluff, so you're right, we did need to slot him in.
Yeah. So Noelle and Jasmine talk about Summer having, bad energy this summer and how they still feel that Summer is struggling in the house. But Noelle says she wants to keep her space from Summer. So we are going to go off to the lighthouse for Feel the Space.
Yes.
Um, on the way to it happens very quickly, like from the morning to this nighttime activity.
These last like 4 days have just been rapid fire, and it kind of makes me sad. I would think that like things would like slowly rev up, and I kind of always knew this would happen with the timing because we've been pacing so far behind the whole season.
I know. So we missed this whole day, nothing happens, but we go off to the lighthouse. On the way there, Shanice says she cannot wait to go home so she can finally get some dick.
Shanice,
I
I
love
hope you
her.
got some the minute you landed.
Good for her. So we get to feel the space on the beach. Josiah is playing his guitar and singing, and Alex's brother is here, and Alex is singing. And the activity is while Alex and his friends are singing, the everyone else has to paint a picture to when they like how they feel during the music, I guess. Did I
Tell
get
me,
that?
yes, this is like weirdly so self-centered of Alex. I would
Here's the
be
other thing.
pissed if my friend made me do this activity. I have to watch you sing, just like it's six of us on the beach, and then you want me to like paint about it on a
The
canvas.
other thing is there's there's a few people who are like dive right in, right? Like
Hmm.
Jasmine, I will say she you could give her any activity and she's going to go 110% into the activity,
That's
which
so
I give
true.
it to Jasmine. She went biking, she's not painting. She'll show up and she will not complain.
You know what? You're right. She's been a B character, so I don't think about her this season, but she will
Yeah.
always say yes, and you need those people. Those are the crux of the group.
She won't complain about it. She'll deal with it. Then
Yeah.
there are people like me and like Shanice who don't know how to paint. And
Yeah,
so
like
this
Preston was
brings
doing it, and he's like,
stress.
stick people, here we go. But they'll do
Yeah, this
it.
brings so, yeah, I would do it, but this would bring me stress because I can't paint. And so Alex is singing about waves. So the whole group sings or paints about waves.
No, no, he doesn't just sing about
Waves.
waves. All he does is say
Waves,
waves.
waves,
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 waves.
waves.
And he has his hand going like waves.
When they first started this activity, I thought like Alex was going to sing a song and then they were just going to play like a general amount of music. And it was just going to kind of be like, a coming down from the season, the summer. And, we're all going to paint something that's been important to us. Not just we are listening to Alex sing and we're going to paint about that.
Yeah, and we're all gonna paint the same thing because it's just waves.
I was like, no, you
So
lost me. I was kind of Jasmine on at the beginning, but then when it's just Alex singing, I'm out.
no. And then even worse, um, we have to share our paintings with the group. So
Jesus.
Nick did falling waves. Jasmine did waves where they can look upside down that it all looks like waves no matter which way you hang the
No
painting,
matter how
which
you're
was
hanging
good.
it.
I was like, what
I
a
liked that
genius idea.
idea. But
How'd you come up with that?
but come on, nobody is taking these paintings home.
I mean, Amir's lighthouse wasn't bad. And then Summer had no idea how to paint. So she just took dark colors and then moved them into light and called them her transition swaying. And I was like, you know what? At least you did something because I would have drawn all six of us in stick figures and put hair and been like, and we're done.
With a
Um,
wave, like the old beach where the ocean is on one side and then like you have a little bit of sand and then just people
it
like
would have
hovering over.
Yeah, it would have been a 12-year-old's painting where you like put a line because that's the ground, and then you do like
Yes.
a sun because that's the sky,
In the
and then you draw
corner.
people. There's a house. Yeah, for no reason. But we don't see Shanice or Preston's paintings, which those were the ones I wanted to see.
I bet there were stick people.
Because that's what I would have done. So we go
Release
back
the
to the house.
paintings.
Literally. So we go back to the house. Summer texts Jordan and Preston to talk. So they go up to her room And Summer immediately starts crying. She says it's really hard to open up about how she's mentally struggling, but she feels like it's the best decision for her to not be here. She knows she's bringing down the house energy. She really wants to heal the situations happening and wants to go home to her family, which I think's a great idea. I think she really just doesn't want to be here. She's checked out.
Yeah.
And Jordan and Preston feel the same way. They listen to her and they support her decision. So
It's
yeah.
sad, but she's got a lot going on. She just needs
I
to
think she really is just worried about everything and needs to like go do
she needs
it.
to go back to like real life because it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to live in this fake world when you have so much other stuff going on.
And you're on an island, basically.
Yeah, with
Like
people who
Martha's
like are
Vineyard.
just drinking and you don't want to at the present moment.
Yeah, and it's not easy to get off of Martha's Vineyard. There's
That's true.
only like 3 ways off.
She's got a whole journey home.
Yeah, so I understand. So now it's day 13 of 15. It's 9:49 a.m. Shanice texts Bria about having a pool day. So that's what the girlies are doing. Nick and Amir head to the driving range together. Nick looks like he's going on safari, this man. He's got his hat behind
Also,
his neck,
I
high
am
socks.
frustrated because they say they're going to the driving range, but then they go play a round of golf, and that is not the
Yeah,
same thing.
yes.
Because I
Oh,
love
that's
when the
weird.
house husbands of New Jersey go to the driving range and then they can chit chat and like
Yeah.
they make bets. And so I thought we were going to get a little moment like that. Like, no, this was,
No,
I
they
hated
really do
that.
play golf. Because the driving
Yes.
range, as someone who's never played a round of golf in her life, but has gone to the driving range twice in her life, a driving range, you just hit the ball and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter where it really goes. Golf, I'm trying to get it in the hole.
Yes. I just don't think playing a round of
Different.
golf was necessary here. We need a like
Especially
standing activity when we need to
especially from
chit chat.
two guys that can't golf.
Yes, that's why I was like,
They're
oh, the driving
terrible.
range is easy. Like anybody can do the driving range. Seriously, it's
I could
not
do
that
it.
hard.
Yeah. So, neither of them are into golf. Neither of them are good at golf. Amir just knows he's better than Nick at golf, and I would say not by much.
When Amir said that, he was like, I picked this activity because I think I would be better than Nick. I was like, I'm actually going to be honest. I feel like Nick could be really good at this.
Well, Nick keeps kicking up grass, but we do learn that him and Tasia are going to get lessons. So I was like, okay, Amir's just gonna hope and pray, I guess. But they
God.
do discuss the issue with Natalie and Tasia and telling Tasia the information. And Nick last night, which was cut out for some reason, we saw a conversation with Noelle, Shanice, and Bria. Um, and Noelle had told Nick that Natalie was the one that was gonna bring it to Tasia, like they weren't going to. And Nick realized he yelled at these girls for no reason. I think there's still a mini reason, but like, I get it.
But they weren't like, I think Nick's, the crux of Nick's issue is that they wanted to like, quote unquote, blindside Tasha again. And that was not those girls'
Oh,
intents.
no, that was Natalie's. So
Yes.
Nick lets Amir know that the girl said Natalie alone went to Tasia and wanted to tell her. And Amir is like, I have an issue with the girls bringing Natalie into this when she can't even defend herself. Like, Natalie's a child and needs her boyfriend to defend her.
He was like, why wasn't I should have been there.
Amir says Natalie lives by girl code and she's not at fault. And Amir thinks the other 3 girls were going to tell Tasia about Nick. And Natalie just wanted to give Tasia a heads up as a
Amir, you
friend.
weren't a part of these conversations, so you have no clue what went down.
Amir is such like a blind boy. Like, I would never also want to be in a relationship where I couldn't do anything wrong. Like, I'd want my boyfriend to call me out, obviously respectfully, like
Yes.
behind closed doors, but like call me out on my behavior. Let's discuss it. Let's like hold me accountable as a person.
I get saying, like, hey, that's kind of effed up that you did this once Natalie left, or you spoke up about this, like, once she's gone and cannot speak for herself because I don't know what happened. But Amir is then saying things that he doesn't know if they're true or not. He's just deciding what happened because he knows Natalie would never do this. And it's like, well, she did do it. Like, you look like an idiot
Yeah.
now.
And you're going to watch the show and probably still feel the same way.
Well, he's gonna like double down probably at the
Yeah.
reunion, or he'll like weasel his way out of it. I hate when people bring such a strong stance on something. They're proven wrong, and then they won't. There's no way Amir will be like, "Oh, sorry, I fucked up there."
Yeah, even if I have trouble doing that, but I also love to like joke and be like, but what do I know? Why are you guys listening to me?
That's the thing. You
So like,
always, I feel like, would like leave a door open for reasonable doubt, or like, "Hey, I wasn't actually a part of that conversation, but this is how I think it probably went." Amir is like, Natalie, no.
I
Natalie
know.
lives by such a girl code. Like, how dare you talk about her like this? Like, those girls wanted that. And it's like, well, you have no idea.
Yeah, I would be fine if even he was like he watched it and then when people confronted him about it, he would be like, it wasn't great on
Yeah.
Natalie's
I just don't
part.
think he will. I
Just a
think he
little
will
like, no. He'll
like
double
put
down and
this
be like,
stake in the ground. But because like he can't admit like what Natalie has done is
yeah.
wrong, because then like he'll get like a
And
lashing at
hurt
home.
it hurt others. He's gonna be that guy that says the editing made it look weird. You don't see everything because of the editing.
1,000%. You're so
That's him.
right.
That's him. Okay, so Brie and Shanice have a pool day. Summer is packing her bag. She lets the house know that she is leaving tonight. Um, Everyone says goodbye to Summer except Noelle. Noelle hides out in her room. She does not want to say goodbye to Summer.
Does she know? I
Which
couldn't decide if I, for a minute there, I thought she was like taking a nap and didn't know if she was leaving or not.
Jasmine texted her and said,
Okay.
like, Summer is leaving. Do you want to come say, like, where are you? Do you want to come say bye? And Noelle was like, no.
I also think it's like Summer should have probably like popped her head in that room. You were the one who brought
Maybe.
Noelle. Like Summer's the one who
Well,
brought
Jasmine
Noelle.
also said, Summer was like, hey, where's Noelle? And Jasmine's like, I don't know.
Mm,
She's not in our room. But I think
okay.
Jasmine just didn't know because she was like, then where are you?
Yeah.
But Noelle said no. But Summer apologizes to Bria and Shanice. Bria understands. She's like, it's just the energy. You need a spiritual bath. Whatever. So Summer leaves. So it's 11:52 a.m. Jasmine is going to all the little shops. She's gonna go shopping, which I would have been like, they probably have cute shops on Martha's Vineyard. That's what I would be
Oh,
doing.
yeah. I bet she's like
Also,
shopping for
let's get out
baby
of the
clothes
house.
too.
Let's get out of the house for a little bit because madness is about to ensue.
I can't
So
wait.
everyone's by like the pool. Preston lets Amir and Nick know that Summer left. Nick's a little sad because he was really close to Summer, but he understands. Um, and then Bria's like talking at the pool about how Milo's going to go to boarding school, and then they're talking about Summer, and she takes her eyes off Milo for 2 seconds, and all of a sudden, Milo's missing.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Bree's calling for Milo. Milo's not coming back. Milo's been gone for 2 minutes, for 8 minutes. Nick jumps in the search to find Milo. Milo's been missing for 15 minutes. The whole house is looking for Milo. Bria's like, who would let Milo out of the gate? And Amir's like, it can never be fucking her fault because then we see footage of Milo pushing himself out the gate because the
Yep.
gate was open. So Milo's been missing for 36 whole minutes, and the
Which, like,
whole
that
house
is
is
a long time.
looking.
He is a small
Long
dog. And
time.
she was saying, like, there's hawks on this island. He could be
Yeah, Hawk
snatched
tried to
up.
get Milo, but then Milo runs back up with a
Do, do,
stick,
do, do, do.
and it was timing was perfect because it was right after Milo heard Bria say he's going to boarding school, so he fled the
He
scene.
was running away.
And then Jasmine comes back after all that, and I was like, God, I wish I was with Jasmine that whole day.
Honestly, listen, my instincts would kick in. I would help. I would help find this dog if I were in this house, but I would be pissed after the fact. I'd be like, this damn
I think
dog.
I'd be one of those people that like I don't know where dogs go. So I would like look at a bush and go like, Milo? Okay. And then like walk to the next bush and be
You're
like,
like checking in the house. You're
Milo?
like, you know what? He has to be
I
inside in
could do the
somebody's bedroom.
house.
Yeah.
I could do that. I would do the house. Yeah.
Because
Um,
Milo's a small dog, I like that. I would be more concerned. If it were a bigger dog, I'd be like, it'll come back. Like it's fine. But Milo is a tiny one. He could be hit or taken by that hawk.
Milo's also a naughty dog.
Yep.
Naughty.
He does it for
So
the attention.
Milo's an attention hoe. So everyone's making dinner. Um, Everyone's just hanging around the kitchen, and Bria asks Samir if he's okay because his energy is low. I was like, we've been here 15 days. My energy would also be low, Bria. Leave me be.
Yeah. Also, listen, I as a viewer want drama, but like, do we have to call out every problem we have all the time? Can we just fucking make dinner?
Yeah, it's just like you can't ever go anywhere because you're about to be produced on this show. So
Seriously, like, thank
everything you
God
do,
Summer left. Like, she was like in the same zone Amir basically as mentally.
I
Like, she
get
would be
it.
picked apart tonight.
I get it. So Amir just asked the girls why they had a conversation with Nick when Natalie isn't here to speak her piece. And Shanice and Bria are both like, well, one was because we didn't know why Nick was mad, so we had to
Yeah.
ask him,
We didn't
and it's dead
ambush him with
now.
this.
Yeah, it's dead now. And Amir's like, actually, it's not. And he says he's trying to
Oh.
figure out what was said to Nick. And then Bria starts yelling at him and is like, nothing. And Amir starts yelling back and is like, stop yelling at me. And Bria's like, you're escalating the situation. And
Oh,
Bria says,
Bria.
leave me out of your girlfriend's mess. And now Amir's upset because his girlfriend isn't messy. And
Oh,
he's
he
mad.
is. She is. She is.
He's mad that the girls are trying to spin the narrative that Natalie was the one who did this. And Bria's getting so hot right now. So Jasmine says, Bria, count to 10, which I thought that was hilarious. Because
It
also you
worked
have
on her
like,
though too.
yeah. Also to the side is like Preston, Jordan, Jasmine, Alex. They are just watching. So Jasmine's like, hey, Bria, you have hot
Bring it
pans
down.
and utensils. Count to 10. And Bria does. But it doesn't help. But she's like
I
one,
think
two,
it
three,
changes.
four.
Like, yes, she is still like yelling, but it brings her aggression down a little bit.
Yeah, I think it doesn't help a ton, but it does something. But then the guys, Nick and Amir, are like, "Oh, are we a child counting to 10 now?" And
Why
then
are you
Bria
gonna light
looks
her fuse more? Like, what are we doing?
but then Bria looks at Nick and says something like, "Shut up, Urkel." And
I mean,
because Nick's face
she's
after
spot on.
he was like confusion. Like it was so funny. Oh my god, because that's like such a weird diss. It's so niche too.
Yes.
Oh my god, I was crying laughing. And then Bria says she wasn't talking about Nick's relationship. All of that came from Amir's broad.
Okay.
And then Amir is pissed.
That is like 50%
Yeah.
true though, because it did come from
It
Natalie.
Natalie brought it up.
But Bria, you did participate. You were the other like
Natalie
30%
brought
of
it
the
up.
conversation.
Natalie brought it up. Bria said the last standing words on the relationship. They're both guilty, but Bria's not going to own it. It's all Amir's broad. I was like,
I think
Jesus
because
Christ.
Natalie is owning 0% of it and like through Amir
Yeah.
owning 0% of it, it makes Bria way more defensive because
Sames.
the problem is now is Natalie's fault. It would have just been like,
Yeah.
some like girl chat and like Nick would have seen it and they would have like slightly addressed it at the reunion and it wouldn't really be a thing had Natalie not done what she did.
Yeah, and this could have ended with the girls being like, we didn't know why Nick was yelling at us, so we just like talked about it.
Yeah. It was dead.
But Amir's
It was dead. And it wasn't
no.
like, everybody hates Natalie whenever it ended. It was just like, hey, Natalie's the one that like brought it to this point. Like, but we're all good.
Yeah. So now Bria's hot. And people are like, Bria, stop. But she's yelling at Amir. And Amir yells back and goes, stop raising your voice at me! And loses it. And then he walks out the house and he's yelling, God damn! And then it's now 7:12 p.m. Amir's outside. Bria's pissed inside. Jasmine is like, why are we still talking about this? Does anyone know?
Honestly.
Because she's confused. Alex is cracking up. He's like, I'm over this house. But that was hilarious. Like,
Good God.
I would love to be like an Alex or Jasmine or
Just
Jordan at
sitting
this
and
point, like
watching.
totally out of it and just being like, you guys are fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Um, Amir does come back inside. He says he just wanted clarity. Bria comes downstairs. Jasmine is trying to be peacemaker because I think she's done. She's like, let's just end
She's
this
like,
thing on a
baby Cooper
positive.
doesn't like this. Let's stop.
Yeah. But then she goes to Bria and she's like, can you own that your frustrations caused you to yell? And Bria's like, oh, for sure. But then she says that no one encouraged Natalie to tell Tasia. That was Natalie's decision.
Which
And
is
we kind
true.
of leave it at that. Yeah, that's totally true. We leave it at that. And then Nick phones Tasia and he's like, everyone's screaming in this house. And Jordan's asleep because she has no stress from this situation. She doesn't care.
That's the
Neither does
beauty of
Shanice,
it.
to be fair.
Yeah, like being the person who like kind of technically was the topic of subject because the touching was with Summer and Jordan, but you're not the one who did anything. Like you already cleared it
Nope.
up with Nick. Like you're just watching this chaos go down and being like, my hands are clean.
Clean. I also kind of wish I was Shanice in every situation where even if I'm being yelled at, I don't care.
She is so unbothered.
Yeah, she's like, that's fine.
She doesn't take
Do
this
whatever
stuff
you gotta do.
seriously. Like,
No.
she also isn't super messy in her commentary. So even if, like, or when they do watch this back, or like if her words did get like truly repeated, she's not the biggest offender in this conversation. So she drops down in the ranking of who Nick could be mad at. So, like,
Yeah.
he doesn't
Because
really
Bria's
come for her.
yelling. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bria's yelling. I'll just sit here. So it's day 14 of 15 at 9:36 a.m. A house is starting to wake up. Amir, Nick, Alex, and Shanice are going to go on a bike ride, but Nick has trouble on the gravel. So he
His
has to
bike is too
carry his little
skinny.
bike. He
He
has to
just like
carry
picks it
his
up and
little
starts
bike.
trotting down the driveway.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ. So Jasmine, Noelle, Bria, and Jordan have girl talk. They discuss where to find the best man in NYC. And you can bet I wrote down the
We're
Mark.
taking notes.
Gotta go the Mark. That's where Jordan has her best luck. And I
Is that where
love Jordan.
the princess can be found? Are you gonna like become royalty now, Alicia?
Oh, I hope. I gotta Google where the Mark even is. I've never heard of that.
Is it a hotel? Because they were talking about hotel bars.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, it sounds like they mentioned the Drake, and I know that's a hotel.
No. I think they were saying Drake hangs out there.
At the Mark?
Yeah,
Oh,
or at least
what
one
do
of the
I know?
places they were listing. I think they were talking about Drake the person, not like Drake Hotel, because I think that's just here
Oh,
in
you might be
Chicago.
right. What do I know? I don't. I end up at places like I
The
don't
hole in the
know.
wall
There's a place
bar.
yeah. There's a place literally called Hole in the Wall that I've gone a lot.
Really great name.
Paul's. Are there any eligible bachelors at Paul's Dive
No,
Bar?
my
Yeah, I didn't think so.
my little nickname of now being America's cousin. Whenever I was with my cousin's friends in LA for the 4th of July, they were like, "That'd be a great name for a bar, America's cousin." And
America's
I was like,
cousin.
"All right, let's
Should
start
open a
it."
bar. Let's do it. Who's putting in the capital? Okay, so now we go back to the bike riding crew. They're just skipping rocks. And Alex says last night was a lot, and he doesn't feel good when the house argues with one another. And I was like, of course Alex would say that.
Alex, shut
But
up.
he's right. I get it.
No,
He's
I
right.
don't care. Whatever Alex thinks, I'm on the opposite side.
So Amir agrees, but says it's disrespectful that, quote, they think they can talk to us this way.
Amir, I will
Who?
talk to you any way I want.
Say names. They? Who's they? The girls? We could talk to you however we want. What's your issue?
Listen, I will always yell at Bria for yelling, but when you yell at her for yelling, I'm now on Bria's side.
I'll yell at you. What the fuck are you? And Alex is like, sure, but let's communicate what we have to say to disengage with Bria. And I was like, it's sad that they need to like, if this was me, it'd be so embarrassing. If people are like, she can't control her emotions. We need to
That's so
disengage.
true. I mean, last night the fight was just about yelling, basically, which is so stupid.
It's so
Like,
embarrassing.
Listen, Bria's just gonna always yell. We just gotta know that. And so if you don't want it to be a yelling match, then unfortunately you are the only one who needs to not yell because Bria will always yell.
Whatever. So the girls are doing their girl talk again, and they're talking about boys, and they start talking about if you think you can have more than one soulmate, which
Which,
I'm a big
what do you
believer in.
think?
Yes, I
I
think you can have more than one
agree.
soulmate because I also think that like my friends are my soulmates sometimes.
Ooh, that's true.
Like I have a lot of friends that I'm literally like, I can't believe we're so good together. We're soulmates.
Yeah, like just like fully kindred spirits. Like
Yeah.
you just get each other on such a different level.
Yeah, and I think you grow so much throughout life that I think you can be soulmates for like a little bit of your life with someone, but then not be soulmates later in life with someone.
Well, I also think it's
That's
such a
why.
big world, and like every
Mhm.
decision leads to like a different version of a life. That makes me
Yeah,
think about the like Everywhere, Nowhere, whatever that movie is.
yeah.
That every time you make a major decision, like you've spurred your life into such a different path. So I think there's like people out there that, depending on the decisions you made, could be your soulmate. So like, I don't think you're gonna meet all your soulmates, or like, I think you have the
No.
opportunity to meet. Let's say there's 8 of them or something. Like at some point, your path will lead you down to maybe 1 or 2 of
Oh,
them.
I like that. Yeah, that was definitely different than I was like, oh, in high school, you feel like this guy you're dating is your soulmate, but he's like, he
I don't
maybe is
think
just your soulmate for that time.
I don't think those are so. I think maybe for some people, but
Some people, but I think that's why people fall out of love all the time too. I
that's
think you
true.
grow and you fall out of your soulmate.
Well, like you've made decisions down a path that's kind
Yeah,
of led you away from that soulmate and probably
exactly.
towards a
So,
different one. Yeah.
yeah, but I believe like girlfriends can be my soulmates too.
You know what? That's so true. And those are the ones that can probably last the longest.
That's what I'm
Those are the ones we have
saying.
to hold on to.
But all of the girlies here, they agree. They're like, yeah, you can have multiple soulmates. And Jasmine's
Yeah.
like, I think you can, but I'm too lazy to act on it. I'm not going to go find these other soulmates. And I was like, and that's okay, girly.
Yes. That's the beauty
That's
of having
fine.
multiple out there is
Yeah,
once you have one, if you want to like lock that down and keep it forever, if
lock
you
it.
want Silas, lock that down. He's yours.
Do it. Soulmates. Bria does not think Simon is her soulmate. Her soulmate is in Tribeca. And I went, whoa, I'd be mad if I was Simon.
I would
Like what
be pissed
like
because
what
you could
Jasmine
lie.
said? Yeah, what Jasmine said was funny, and I wouldn't be mad if I saw that. It's like, yeah, we
No.
probably have so many soulmates, but I'm too lazy to go find them. I found one, and that's enough for me. And it's
Well,
like,
because
cheers
it's
to you,
like
girly.
you're
Do
choosing
you?
a soulmate and you're saying like this is somebody who means a lot to me and is one of my people, you know? And
Yeah.
I'm choosing to stick with him. So like that ends up being like a positive thing. But Bree's like, yeah, he's not, but I'll be with him.
He's not. I know exactly where my soulmate is. And I went,
That's
oh
also true. Like,
no,
and I live in the city that my soulmate
he's in.
is, and we are
Where the
long
guy that's
distance.
not my soulmate that I'm dating is in a different country.
Because I feel like this is a double offense. Like you could have just lied and said Simon was your soulmate, and then you're saying that you have one very close to you that you kind of keep tabs on too. That doesn't make me
Yeah,
feel
because
comfortable, especially when we're not soulmates.
you know where he is.
Ugh.
Ooh. But, and, oh, in addition, Bria refuses to make any kind of comment about this in her interview,
Which
which makes
like
me seem like, ooh,
more
you
sketchy.
secret. You in the
Yeah.
secret. But Bria says soulmate energy is just different. And she does think her and Simon will get married, and that's her person, but not her soulmate. And I was like,
That feels like
oh, that could be like an
settling.
interesting way to look at it. I think if she just said, like, I don't know if Simon's my soulmate, but he's my person, great. But you don't have to throw in that you know where your soulmate is.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
part I was like, ooh.
And not
Because
even
I
just
think
like you
that's,
know that you've like met a soulmate and that was just so different and like in theory like you moved on, similar to like you saying like, oh, there could have been one in high school and you just like
yeah,
separated from them. But no,
yeah.
this is like, oh yeah, he's down the corner, he's around the block from me.
Yeah, yeah, I just think that's you could have just said I
He's
don't
not in
think
like
Simon is
Ohio
my
hanging out and
soulmate.
like it is like the little town coach, like coaching the football team and like hope he's well.
Yeah.
Nope, I could go hang out with him if I want to, and I know exactly where he lives.
Bria could have said so many better
Yeah.
things
I
than
wouldn't
that.
I want to know what Simon thought when he saw this cuz they also don't have the like most secure relationship.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. So anyway, everyone comes back from their bike ride to the house. Jasmine and Preston head to the beach because Jasmine is hosting a dinner on the beach for the final night. It's called the Connect and Reflect dinner, which I was like, we do need to reconnect as a house because it's rough.
It is.
So let's
They
do
are
it.
not leaving like unified. I feel like that's why I needed one last
No.
party. I needed to like woo.
Nope, we're not unified.
Nope.
But everyone gets to the dinner. Jasmine got everyone name tags or name placements
Yep.
because she said she wants to put people next to, um, people they might have to work things out with. Like Amir and Bria are sitting next to each other, but then Jordan's like, "Why the fuck am I next to Nick?" And Nick's like cracking up. But at 8:16 at the dinner, the food looks really good. They're cooking it on the beach. Everyone's like serving themselves. Noelle fucking loves food. She's pumped about this. I was like, yeah,
We
eat
needed
it
to end the
up.
season with Noelle in a dinner
Noelle
table that I
loves
also
food.
wanted to be at.
Yeah. So we then play the impersonation game, which is such a fun game.
I love
Where
when
you
people
like
do this.
yeah, you impersonate each other. And we get to see a few, which was so funny. Like Noelle gets Alex, which was really good. Preston gets Noelle. Amir gets Shanice, and basically he just like
So
flashes the
good.
whole table, which was so good. Alex gets Preston and just takes like a plate of food to bed, which I guess is a very Preston thing to do. And yeah, so then we open the floor to reconnecting. Amir apologizes to Bria. Bria says she doesn't like to argue, and then we cue to scenes of her arguing with everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Bria also apologizes, and then Jordan says she's not sorry for anything because she's running everything back, and she doesn't think she did anything wrong. It's more
But
of like, how can we grow from here?
well, I think also she's saying like she used to always like want to apologize
Yeah.
for everything. And it's more so like, okay, I'll review it in my head and like do better moving forward on something, but I don't want to be looking in the rear view mirror constantly. And I feel the same.
Exactly. So Nick asks how everyone can be better, and everyone's like, "What are you talking about? We're perfect." Rude. So we go back to the house. I really love pregnant Jasmine because after a full dinner on the beach, she comes in and she goes, "Ugh, I want some of that leftover mac and cheese." Like a meat, she's always
Oh,
hungry, and I
I was like,
love
open
that.
it up, baby. Open it up.
So it's day 15 of 15, 9:06 a.m. None of them pack their clothes well. They just stuff them in and hope to God,
I
except
wonder if
Nick.
some of them are like staying on the island. They're just like leaving this and they're going to be like still on Martha's Vineyard and like going to another house and seeing the friends that are not part of this show. Because they kind of like
I would,
hurriedly pack
but I would guess kind of no
that they're
because they've
done.
been gone 15 days and I feel like they all have jobs to get back to.
I think it feels like only Shanice has like a 9 to 5er and she is unemployed right now.
So Shanice can go party, but I feel like everyone else, like Preston did work on the trip. He's get
Yeah,
fleeing the island to go see Tasia. Amir has to go back
that's
to
true.
Natalie or else she'll kill him.
Yeah, yeah.
I
His
think
ankle
Jordan's
monitor will
Yeah,
ping.
Jordan's an introvert. I think she's emotionally spent. Jasmine's pregnant.
No, I don't think they're all hanging out together, but they're
No,
all
I
like
think they're
parting
all going
ways.
home. I think they all want their beds. Okay, so Jasmine says she came in the house with a lot of fires to put out. And this summer she's starting a family with a man who's thousands of miles away, and she's on her own right now. But the whole house comes in the truth booth when she's in
Hmm.
there, and they all like hug her and they do like a little like goodbye and thank you to Martha's Vineyard. It's time to leave. What an amazing season. And then we get it 6 months later. And Jasmine gives birth on February 22nd, 2024. And I'm so
Woo!
I really am happy for Jasmine. I really
I
do
am
like
too.
Jasmine.
It made me so sad then seeing like Silas was there 16 hours later. Like it just reminded
Mhm.
me like that's so sad he
Yeah.
couldn't be like physically there.
And he surprised her and she was crying, which was so cute. And they now have baby Sai, short for
I
Silas.
I'm I'm happy for
The
them.
baby is not his father, Meredith.
I know. I'm happy for them as like a unit and I'm so happy I didn't have to see him.
I'm so happy for Jasmine. I really do love her. I wish her the best. And if her
Yeah.
best is what she wants is Silas, I will stand and support her and help her
That's the
with baby
thing.
Sai while he's gone.
While he's gone. I also think she will be a great mom.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she's gonna love that little baby so much.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so that's the season. We have one last fun and not fun to do before I tell you our winners of the season. So, Meredith,
Let's do it.
who is your let's do not fun.
I am going Amir. He is just so off base and he is so confident that I need that man destroyed at the reunion.
Ooh, no,
Is
that
this
makes
the reason
sense.
people were like egging for like asking for a reunion? I like wish I knew. This is where I wish we did watch it like while it was
I
all
think
live
it
because
was.
I want to know like I just know that people were begging for one. And is this the reason why? So if anybody knows, please DM me.
I think it's also just like it's disrespectful not to give a show a reunion. Like even Below Deck has reunions sometimes.
Especially second season. A lot of times first seasons don't get one, and that is I understand that.
But yeah, this is second season. Everyone loved it. We
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of unfinished issues we wanted them to answer for and
Yeah.
like talk about. And like a lot of people, when they watch it back, change their tunes a little. So I don't know. I think it would have been better. But I'm gonna pick the other side of the coin. I'm gonna pick Bria.
Good.
Y'all know. Y'all know Bria is
Good.
just she's done. But who is your fun for this season? Or
Uh
for this episode, I guess.
I just feel like there wasn't as much. I wanted more fun from this.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Nick. I feel like he resolved a lot of things. He's on good terms with everybody, despite all the problems. I feel like he handled all the arguments correctly. And I feel like he came out, despite the problems, really unscathed and like still a part of this group and like hanging out with
Huh.
people, doing whatever.
Fair. I'm giving it to Jasmine. She not only had a baby,
Yeah.
but she also is eating late night mac and cheese and going to little shops and doesn't have to look for Milo. And I would
So
love to be Jasmine this
minus the
episode.
pregnancy.
If it gets me more mac and cheese than everyone else, I'll be pregnant for
You'll
an
get pregnant
episode.
just for Mac. Oh, for one episode.
For an episode. I just
Strap
want
a
to be.
watermelon to
I
her.
don't want to be Jasmine any other day but these days. This is my days.
You don't get to cherry pick the best ones.
Well, you asked me. That's my reasoning for picking fun. I want to be her for these days
Okay.
specifically. Okay, Meredith, who do you think was the most not fun of the season? I'll tell you what, there's two.
I
Two
think
of
it's
them tied.
Bria
Okay?
and Amir.
Yeah. Brie and Amir, both 5 times were our least
God, out of 9
fun.
episodes,
Or were our
18,
most, our most
18
not fun.
shots.
Yeah. Okay, who do you think was our most fun? This one kind of pisses me off, but that's who we picked.
Let's see. I think like Shanice deserves it, but I don't think she got it.
She didn't. That's who I wanted it
Yeah,
to be.
I know. But like once you gave that commentary, that it's like, ugh. I was like, okay,
It's
not
not
Shanice. Is it Nick?
It is. It's
Okay.
Nick.
I just feel like
Nick got most fun.
he got a lot of like underdog, like
Yeah,
or
everyone
like
loves an
random
underdog.
moments. He really
Yeah.
rose to the occasion. I feel like for us. So at the tail end, I feel like he probably got a lot.
Yeah. But for me, if we're going to pick an overall season winner, not just going episode by episode, it's Shanice, baby.
Gold
She was
star.
fun.
She is the MVP.
Love her.
She's not the
Love
fun.
her.
She is the MVP.
Truly the best. Okay, well that's our season. We are going to do the reunion, so
Wait,
hang tight for
really
that. Yep.
quick. I want to chat ratings really quick because I was like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
we've talked a lot. Like, how could they cancel this? Yada, yada, yada. So I went and looked up the ratings, and the season high was 340,000 viewers,
Ooh.
but it really started to drop. That was like episode two, maybe. It really started to drop at like episode three,
Oh
which
no.
we were like, this is kind of boring at that point. And it picked back up, like for us, like this season picked back up towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
But the overall average was 283,000 viewers, which is way down from season one. So by
Mm.
that comparison, it makes sense of why they
Have
were to
pause.
drop this. Yeah. But I was
Mm.
like, okay, I wonder how other shows have done season one to season two and like where similar shows are at. At first, I was like, oh, I wonder how Summer House did last season just to give us like, because that was like at an all time high. Like, how does it kind of peak out lately? Because I know television
Mhm.
ratings are like on a decline overall. OG Summer House last season, season 8, did 456,000 viewers. So almost double like what this season's average was. So, but again, that's season 8 that has a cult following, like room to
Mhm.
grow to, obviously.
And last season we had
Was
drama we were ready for.
Yes. So like that is top
Yeah.
tier. But then I was trying to think because I could like there was like a drop down list of all the Bravo shows. I was
Ooh.
thinking like, oh, what's a similar one that's in a similar situation that this is? And Southern Hospitality came to mind. That was also in its
Ooh.
season 2, and we know that it has been picked up for a third season. And season 2 of Southern Hospitality had a 304,000 viewers. So
No.
yeah. So like in line, I mean, only 20,000 more, but this is the kicker. It jumped from season 1 to season 2. Like it had growth,
Oh.
whereas Summer House Martha's Vineyard had a decline from season 1 to season 2. So I think that's the indicator, unfortunately.
That also kind of makes sense, I
Yeah.
guess. Because Southern Hospitality, we're watching these stupid kids. These are like Martha's Vineyard's adults, you
Yeah.
know?
So I think race does play into it on like like why viewers are declining too. Like I think it's just
Aw.
an overall thing, but there is like a business decision slightly there too.
Aw.
So we got to watch the shows that like we care about, and we got to get other people to watch them, and we got to advocate for
I'm
voices.
bringing
And
awareness on
correct.
TikTok and Instagram now that because I do
So
think you can add new people too, I think.
it is on us
Like
as
more.
viewers to keep the shows around that we want, and it's disappointing that the viewership went down 100,000. I think the editors did them wrong at the beginning of the season,
The
but
story was terrible.
yeah, I mean, I've talked to people on. I talked to another creator, like we were in the chat with Bravo breakdowns, and they said that
Yeah.
they didn't even know that season 2 had aired, and I was like, I only knew because we watched Summer House so like diligently, and sometimes they would
Yeah.
air. Yeah,
Advertise.
and like we followed the cast on Instagram, but like I did not see enough commercials for this, so they also weren't promoting it heavily.
Yeah, that makes
It
sense.
also aired at a different time in like season 2 did. It started in March this year, whereas last year I believe it started in May. So if you're going by calendar year of when you expect it to come out, it was different too.
Damn.
So
Well, I think they could make it really good.
I agree. So I mean, we'll be promoting the hell out of this. I hope other people realize that this did air, and maybe, you know, late viewership will maybe bring it back. They haven't outright
Yeah.
canceled it or like told us.
I love that these are the numbers, but I want to revisit this conversation at the end of the reunion
Okay.
because after watching that, I had like a OG Summer House moment where I was like,
Mm.
can this house be friends? Because the basis
Really?
of Summer House, no matter which Summer House it is a bunch of friends getting a summer house
Yeah,
together.
yeah. You need
And
unity.
I'm not going to give much away, but I questioned it at the end of that reunion and went,
Really?
I don't know, man. I don't
Well,
know.
that's interesting because they made this it seems like but Bravo probably made this decision before that reunion happened even
Oh,
because they weren't
well,
planning a reunion.
I would love to see some thoughts on that. And there is one cast member who has given a stipulation for coming back for season 3.
Oh, you can't make ultimatums like that. Okay. Ooh, I can't wait for this reunion.
The stipulation's not on the reunion, it came out after.
Oh,
So, I mean, I'll just say it. I'll say it here because it's not in the reunion.
yeah.
But Amir has
Ugh,
said he's not coming back unless Natalie can be a full time cast member in season 3, which the rest of the
bite
cast
me.
said, well, the rest of the cast said, okay, see ya. Basically, like they're like,
Good.
no. Why would you beg to have your not black girlfriend
Yeah.
on this show that shows black history, black culture amongst black people? Like, where's the thought process? I don't care
But
if
also,
Natalie is a minority of some sort or a
she
person of
doesn't get along
color.
with these people, so it doesn't really make sense.
Oh, Natalie wants to um show the audience that
Is not
sh
a
her
lunatic.
story, she came across wrong. You're looking at me. I know the silence is deafening.
I
But truly, I don't know Natalie's background and I don't care. This is a show
It's not
about
about her.
black people.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. And you can't, they're going to a historically black community, a place in like, that's the whole point of this fucking show.
That's the thing is like you don't need to be a full cast member because you are not the focal point of this show. There is a space for you because
Yeah.
like you are a part of Amir's world, but you are
Yes.
not the
You're
world
not,
we are
no.
watching.
Bria did say she would come back no matter what, whether Simon is in the show or not. And I went, that's
Yeah.
the
That's
right
the energy I want.
attitude. Yeah, so shout out Amir. I hope you don't have to come back. We
Because
don't need
also,
you.
even if she was black, like let's say like every cast member who was in a relationship said that they wanted their partner to be there, I don't find that interesting. I don't want to be Shanice in a house with like 6 couples. That's not
No,
fun.
no. So Natalie, sorry how you were betrayed or portrayed,
I'm
boo,
sorry you
but
did that to yourself.
we don't need you next season and we don't need your boyfriend.
Yeah, Amir, you don't bring enough to the table to throw
See you
something down
never.
like that.
Yeah, but the reunion tis
Oh
interesting.
my
I
god,
don't
I
know if they
can't
can
wait, guys.
come.
One
I
more week.
don't know if
Tune
they can come
in
back.
for that discussion.
Yay! Okay, well, do all the things. Check us out on everything. We have so many episodes coming out. I don't know how you could miss us or be bored of us. So go look at all of that.
Thanks for joining. Bye.